April 1865. The night the world changed. The war was ending. The capital was silent. And inside a dim theater box, a single gunshot split history in two. The story begins in Washington, D.C. Just days after General Robert E. Lee's surrender at the nation, torn and bleeding from 4 years of civil war, was finally beginning to breathe again. The streets smelled of rain, gunpowder, and exhausted hope. But for one young photographer named Elias Turner, peace was not a feeling. It was an illusion. Elias had been hired to document the capital's return to normalcy. His camera, an early wet plate collodion model, was heavy and delicate. Each exposure required minutes of stillness, yet his hands trembled not from the equipment, but from the ghosts that seemed to haunt every frame. Behind every smile of a soldier, he saw the absence of the friend who never came home. On April 14th, Elias was called to Ford's Theater. President Lincoln was attending a play, Our American Cousin. The city buzzed with anticipation. Elias set up his camera across the street, hoping to capture what he thought would be an image of peace. A Nation-S leader laughing again. But when the shot rang out, he froze. The image he captured that night was blurry, unsteady, a smear of light and shadow. Yet, within that chaos, one could faintly see the flicker of a man leaping from the balcony. John Wilkes Booth, the assassin himself. Days later, federal officers seized his plates. The government declared them evidence of national tragedy. But Elias kept one, a fragment, a half-exposed negative he'd hidden in his dark room. What it revealed was something even more haunting. A ghostly reflection near the stage curtains. The faint silhouette of Mary Todd Lincoln, her hand raised, as if reaching for someone already gone. Elias never sold that image. In his journal, discovered decades later, he wrote, "A photograph cannot lie, but truth can be unbearable. I captured a moment no one was meant to see, the exact second a nation lost its innocence." Historians still debate the authenticity of that lost photograph. Some say it was destroyed in a studio fire in 1872. Others whisper it remains hidden in an old trunk somewhere in Virginia, the glass plate still bearing the breath of that night. But one thing is certain: the image, real or imagined, became a symbol. It reminded Americans that even as technology advanced, even as cameras and machines began to preserve time, no lens could truly capture the soul of a broken people. And Elias Turner, the forgotten photographer, remains a ghost of history, a man who held the Nation-S grief in a single frame of light.